and a welcome here to Wake Up Call, where sports truly meets that thing called life. We appreciate you being here, hanging out with us every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. And of course, you are with us all around the country and the world. Once again, here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. We appreciate you being here Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time on YouTube.com, Facebook.com, as well as wakeupcalldt.podbean.com. So that's youtube.com/wakeupcalldt, facebook.com/wakeupcalldt, and on wakeupcalldt.podbean.com. So however you're connected with the show, thank you so much for tuning in here where sports truly meets that thing called life. I can't thank you enough for being a part of the show, and I'm always honored and privileged to have all of the wonderful guests that we've had on and all of the awesome opportunities that we have had to speak with so many great people all around the country and the world from different sports and telling their stories. You know, it's a beautiful thing to be able to do that and to be positive. So today we're bringing you a spotlight special with Jakai Gresham, who's going to start things off, a 2025 wide receiver out of McEachern High School, which is down in the great state of Georgia. And that's going to be followed by an all-new Bearcat Breakroom. And that Bearcat Breakroom is going to be featuring head coach Allie Yaeger, who I'm excited to have on the broadcast for the first time, as well as student athlete from Sofia, Bulgaria, Tsvet Ilieva is going to be here. So happy to feature them of Binghamton University Bearcats volleyball following 3 straight match victories. And their story is really incredible. And their appreciation and love for each other is really, really cool. So I can't wait to share that with you. And then we'll be concluding with the ingredients to success, proudly presented by the wonderful team at Avicolli's. The ingredients to success, focusing on when you believe is our topic for today. When you believe, and that's going to be presented by Avicolli. So very excited to be able to bring that to you here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. So we thank you for being here and for spending time with us. And we do want to jump onto Facebook here as well on facebook.com/wakeupcalldt, which I had mentioned earlier. So we are now set and ready to go on all of our channels here this morning. We thank you for your patience here on Wake Up Call. A fantastic show set up for you, starting off first and foremost with our Spotlight special with Jakai Gresham. Jakai Gresham joining us inside of MonPazPopcorn.com's What's Poppin' from the great state of Georgia, 2025 wide receiver out of McEachern High School down in the state of Georgia. He's been all over the place in a military family, but before Georgia was up here in central and upstate New York, still has family up here, and his family decided they said, if you want to follow your dreams, if you want to chase them, then we have to make a move. We're going to have to put ourselves out there and give the best shot that we can at giving you an opportunity. And he was willing to go out into uncharted territory to put himself into adversity and to see what life could be in this next chapter. And I'm very happy that I have the opportunity to share that special with you coming up in just a moment. And at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, as always on a Tuesday, we have Bearcat Time with the Binghamton University Bearcats and our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership with the Bearcats. And today, I'm ecstatic. For the first time ever, I will have Binghamton University Bearcats volleyball on the broadcast. I will be sharing my special in the Bearcat Breakroom with head coach Allie Yaeger, as well as student athlete Tsvet Ilieva will be joining me. Tsvet is from Sofia, Bulgaria. Both of them were together at Seton Hall, where Allie Yaeger was a coach. She was an assistant at Binghamton, then became a head coach at Seton Hall, and then decided to come back to Binghamton and become the head coach of the Binghamton University Bearcats, and Tsvet followed her here from Seton Hall to Binghamton University. Cannot wait to share that with you. If you need some positivity this morning, if you need some love, if you need some faith, if you need some goodness and kindness and just overall positive feels, Jakai Gresham, Allie Yaeger, and Tsvet Ilieva are going to bring that to you here today, and I can't wait to share those specials. And we'll round out the show as we always do on a Tuesday with the ingredients to success. And Avicolli's knows all about the ingredients to success. They make fantastic food, their pizza, their wings, their veal parmesan, and so much more over at 7839 Oswego Road in Liverpool, New York, and the exclusive home of our monthly Liverpool Warriors broadcast with student athletes, coaches, and administration. The ingredients to success topic today is when you believe. So we'll be getting into that in just a little while, here where sports meets life. We're going to take a step aside, and we'll be back with my special featuring Jakai Gresham right after this.
Hi, this is Amy from Mother's Cupboard, home of the whole frittata. We are open daily 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. For takeout orders, call 315-432-0942 and tune in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora for our monthly food challenge and try our Wake Up Call signature menu item available 7 days a week. Here at Mother's Cupboard, we are Central New York, and it's our honor to serve you.
Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory remind us that every day is worth celebrating at 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York. Open Monday through Saturday in-store and always online at maandpaspopcorn.com. Serving our Central New York community and beyond, order anywhere, anytime at maandpaspopcorn.com. Stop in to get a tin at Ma and Pa's on 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York to get your half-price refills for the rest of your life. Come to Ma and Pa's for your holiday gift giving for family, friends, employees, and clients. And remember, for fundraising and events, to call 315-450-6272. That's 315-450-6272. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory. How corny are you?
This is Jimmer Sikowski, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Cicero, 7916 Brewerton Road in Cicero, right in front of the Home Depot. I had a deep feeling that God wanted me to do something bigger with my life and to help people, help others. I kept putting Chick-fil-A in my life, and I realized as I was going through the franchise selection process that positively impacting the lives of others was really core to what we do here at Chick-fil-A. First of all, it starts with the food. The food is brought in fresh daily. We bring in local produce. We prepare to order in the kitchen. We hand bread our chicken. We hand spin our milkshakes. It's great food. It doesn't taste like fast food. I think the second thing is the way people feel when they come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. It's different. We try to treat people with intentional kindness here, which is very different and deeper than good customer service. And so I think it feels remarkable for most people to come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. And then lastly, the impact that we try to have in the community is very different. It's a big part of the expectation of every operator of a Chick-fil-A restaurant is that they're actively engaged in their community, they're a leader in the community, and they're making a difference. When they realize that what we're striving to do is to shine a little light in their life, that's a very, very different experience than you will have in any other quick service restaurant. And it's that remarkable experience that I think people will emotionally connect with.
Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets life. Proud to be here with you. Picture in picture with Jakai Gresham here, coming to us originally from upstate New York at Carthage, and then moved down to McEachern High School and is down south right now, putting that work in and looking for an opportunity collegiately as he steps forward here, a class of 2025. So has some time here, and happy to finally get to speak with you, Jakai. How you doing?
Thank you for having me here, man. Hey, appreciate it, man. Like, it's nice to finally be able to speak publicly about my, story and just just have somebody willing to listen. So I appreciate the opportunity. First things first, I want to give it up all to God, for putting us in this position. You know, it's just great. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I appreciate that above everything that you went ahead and gave thanks to God and the importance of that. And that's where I want to start is where that faith is in your life and why you wanted to thank God before we talked about anything.
God has pushed me through a lot of things. All of the negativity, I just give it up to God. Every single time I feel down or feel discouraged, God's always on my shoulder. Sending down angels. Helping me when times get rough. So, and during the season, we went to a camp, FCA camp, and it's a Christian camp, but it's at a university, University of West Georgia. And I learned a lot of things about myself that week. Like we went through a lot of work, and we was just praying. Like it's just I gave my life to Christ again, so it was good. I appreciated that.
And what was that, like you said, to go a little bit deeper into it, just what that experience was like to go to a camp and to have it be about more than just simply football?
It was great. They always made it about God first, and they always made it the main focus. Like we're playing for this. You know, after every game, before every game, we pray. They'd have like a concert. They'd have this guy up there making like basically performing these church songs and having us all hype and turning up to these church songs. So they just they just did a good job at that.
And Jakai, here with you here on Wake Up Call this morning, you said that you're happy to finally have the opportunity to tell your story. What should we know about your story? What is your story?
It's a lot, man. Like from the start to the finish. I'm a military kid, so my dad, my mom, we moved around everywhere, like countless times. So I've been to like 5 different schools playing football. Learned about a whole bunch of different trainers I've went to, but it's just it's overwhelming. Like going to a different school and then moving to a different school, and then I just never had that. I just never had that glue with somebody where I grew up with them from the jump, and I grew up with the coaches, and I grew up with everybody in the circle. I'm just moving in and getting to know this person, getting to know this person. So I've always been a getting to know this person type of person. So being in the military it's just tough, especially if you want to be an athlete. So I pushed through a lot of stuff like favoritism, like from not from now, but like from back then, like middle school, going up. So I played in Ohio, I played in New York, I played in Kansas, I played in Washington, and now I'm playing in Georgia. So it's a lot of different ways that I've been taught to play football, and it's just hard to grasp the concept of this is how you have to play it. This is how you have to do this and this. So that's why I'm blessed to have my coaches. Coach Bat, Coach TJ. They got me right, and I'm just blessed to have them as coaches. They really up my skill.
And you talked about, being a military kid, having to move to so many different states and learn different styles of playing football, different coaching strategies, different coaches talking to you, different coaches that have learned different things or different ways of teaching different things. How has it, we can look at it adversity wise and say, this coach taught you one way, another coach said, don't do that this way. This is the way to do it. This is the way to say it. This is the way to learn it. This is how you become a better player. I mean, we can look at that and say that some coaches negate each other and find a negative, but let's find the positive in this. How did learning so many different styles, ways of leadership, ways of just verbiage of a playbook, maybe it's the same play, but a coach is going to call it something totally different. How does having so many different states and so many different viewpoints on football make you a better player?
I feel like it makes me adapt very well to every. If I had to go over here or I had to play this position, I got taught by this coach how to play this position. Or if I'm over here at a school that has like a spread type formation, I know how to run certain routes off that formation. It's just I'm good at adapting to different coach styles pretty fast. Um, how things work. I'm a quick learner on how things work at different schools and stuff. So I just feel like I'm way more attentive than others coming in.
You talked about being a quick learner and picking things up, being down at McEachern and learning from that environment in Powder Springs, Georgia. What have been the biggest lessons learned so far? You said they get you right. You say the coaching staff helps you, but what have been the biggest learning lessons from being at McEachern High School?
I learned how to really run routes. They got jug machines here, so I get to catch as many times as I want to. They just got the facilities, like they got everything you need. They got weight training, uh, and professional weight training too. Like not no y'all follow this paper. They got like it on the board. They got what you got to do. So it's just a lot going into it. Like not no average person could do what we be doing out here. It's like real deal, getting ready for the pros type stuff out here. So you just got to push through it.
Speaking here with Jakai Gresham, incoming class for college football 2025 down in McEachern High School in Powder Springs, Georgia, here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. You've had the opportunity to be around, I believe you're around an NFL player within the last couple of years or somebody that you've had the opportunity to be around. You have some stories here of connecting with people that have made it to the NFL. So I'd love to share whatever stories you have in that respect.
Yes, I've been around a lot of greatness. That's all I've been around, straight greatness. And I'm blessed. But um yeah, my coach TJ, he had like a great season at Duke when he walked on. He got the opportunity to play in the NFL. I think for like the Dolphins, I didn't really get too in depth with their conversation, but I just know he was up there with them, like with the Redskins. I know I seen a couple practice film, but there's a couple coaches on the coaching staff that have been at that level, so I can't really think of them at the top of my head right now, but I just know we're surrounded by greatness around here, and we're only going up from here. So
And for you, like you said, playing wide receiver predominantly and learning how to run routes and different things in that respect down in Georgia, what are your best attributes when you look at your game itself? What are the pieces of your game that you feel are your kind of foundational? Like these are the things that I'm best at. This is what I build on every day. Is I have these things, and then secondly, what are some of the things you're trying to work on?
I feel like I'm good speed wise. Like I'm really quick. I could get off the ball fast. I can stop on a dime. I feel like I'm good at route running as well. Um, Things I could get better at is if I have an option route, I have to have quicker decision making on certain routes, like just getting stuff down. Because when I do stuff and I don't feel like it's perfect, I just have to resort to what I would normally do. So like I got to get out of that. That's the only issue I really have, I think.
And so, what have you done to correct that?
I just reps, reps. You know, that's all you can do. You can't cheat. You know, so you just got to keep working at it. You know, and that's all I can do.
Now, I had the opportunity over the last couple of years to hear from your mom, Melanie. Just what you could say about her. I mean, I know that when you were up at Carthage in New York, she was trying to figure things out. And, really, it seems like a lot of sacrifices are made by your family. They're looking out for you and they want you to have success. They want you to have a great life. That's what I got from your mom. So I'd love to get your thoughts on your mom, on Melanie, and just what she's done and what your parents have done in general to, despite the fact that you've had to move all over, it seems like you have this love and just desire that they want your life to be everything it can possibly be.
Yes, and my nana and my papa, I'm so blessed to have them around. You know, they help, and my mom and my dad. You know, I can't leave them out. Uh, they do their best, and they try as hard as they can to put me in a position to be successful. You know, they knew me being up there with my dad because that's where he's stationed at right now. My dad is still in the military. He's about to retire too soon, so he's been up there, and uh, I finally my mom said, you know what, we can't stay here if you want to do this like real life, but you're gonna have to really make a sacrifice. You know, you're gonna have to leave all your friends. You know, learn a whole new lifestyle, a whole new way of living football, playing football. You know, it's just it's just a hard thing to do. And we ended up, my mom, really strong. You know, she came down here with absolutely, she had, she had a, she had a plan, but you know, it wasn't a solid plan. You know, she just came down here, worked hard, you know, and got us in this house. My nana and my papa helped too. And now I'm at the school, you know, doing what I love to do. So
And when you see that those sacrifices, like you said, we didn't have a foolproof plan, and I could tell you in life there is no such thing as a foolproof plan. So to see those sacrifices, to see like your dad, like you said, still up north, and your mom saying, "Hey, if you want to do this, we're going to have to make sacrifices. You're going to have to leave your friends. We're going to go and go down to Georgia, give it a shot down here." You said your nana and your papa helping you out. When you see all of these people in your life making sacrifices for you, how do you pay that forward? How do you take all of that giving that you've received? How do you take all of that and not just keep it in, but say, you know what? If people are going to show me this amount of love, I'm gonna I'm gonna give it out. How do you give? How do you help? How do you pay it forward when you have so many people doing it for you?
you know, it's just motivation. You know, um, I tried my hardest every rep. You know, 100% effort. You know, leave it all out on the field. Um, I never want to regret anything I've done out there. You know, because it's been a long journey coming up here. So you know, it's tough. I mean, yeah, that's all I got.
So for you, I mean, the season obviously is right here. It's right before us. So what can we expect to see from you on the field?
You can expect to see 100% of my effort. You know, that's 100. That's real. But you can expect to see explosive plays whenever I touch the ball. I'm always make it memorable. Um, you know, every single time I block, it's gonna be physical. You know, because I'm a physical person, even though, you know, I'm quick, shifty, you know, I still really got that hit. So, you know, I just put it out all on the field, you know.
And for you, before we jump into rapid fire, What can you say recruiting wise? What has life been like in that world? Have you heard from anybody? Any visits, any letters, anything in the world of college football?
At the end of the day, it's all undecided. I'm just cruising on. I got a couple schools that have hit me up. I went to a couple camps. I went to Georgia State camps. The first time I came out here, like right as I moved down here, we went to Georgia State camp, and that was right after I enrolled in McEachern High School. Right after I did a couple training, and then I went to Alabama State. No, Alabama A&M um, camp, and I got the coach's contact. He doesn't work there anymore, but um, I got the other coach's contact off of him. But then I had to go to. I went to like a D2 camp. It was just a bunch of D2 schools there. Couple good programs though. I really like their programs. I've been searching into them, but yeah, that's basically all of it.
So what should people know? I mean, as you're here getting ready for the season at McEachern and down in Powder Springs, Georgia, what should the schools know if there was a college football coach or a scout that's watching this conversation, getting to know you a little bit better, and they're going to go watch film on you after they hear you and I talk? What do you want to make sure that they know about Jakai Gresham, not just the football player, but the person?
I'm real passionate. I do everything with a purpose, 100% effort. Um, I'm gonna do what I think is right every time. But if you coach me, I'm gonna do whatever you tell me to do. I'm really coachable. Um, it doesn't take a lot for me to do what you want me to do. So yeah.
Yeah, coming from Jakai Gresham here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, wide receiver, and overall has played some defensive back as well down in Powder Springs, Georgia, at McEachern High School, and that incoming class for college football 2025. Here on Wake Up Call, it's time for rapid fire. Jakai and I get to ask each other a few questions. We don't have anything prepared. I have no idea what he's going to say. He doesn't know what I'm going to say. So, Jakai, you get to ask me the first question. What do you got for me?
Your favorite NFL player?
Right now?
Yes. Current.
Oh boy, it's a good question.
It's a great
I
question.
would say I'd probably say I'm a Jaguar fan, but I would probably say CJ Stroud.
Mm,
I'd probably say Stroud right now. I I feel like on my mind would be CJ, Lamar. I got to spend time interviewing Lamar when he was at Louisville. I was one of the only people I felt like there were crickets when I said that I thought he'd be a good quarterback in the NFL. So
wow.
I would,
That's crazy.
yeah. I mean, when I came out and said that, I know the person that was on the show at the time. I don't think he agreed with me, but yeah, Lamar. I'd probably say Lamar and CJ, just really dynamic players. And I love Cisco. I love Cisco and Andre Cisco, Trill Williams, Afatu Melifonwu, Garrett Williams, all guys I covered at Syracuse. They're in the league. And so, super proud of those guys and happy I got
Yeah.
to be around them and interview them and talk with them. In some cases, meet their family. So, yeah, I mean, I would say there's a bunch of guys I'm rooting for, but if I had to pick someone like right now that I would just jump on a plane and go see, probably CJ Stroud or Lamar.
Yeah, that's a good top player. Those are two dogs right there. I got a boy that's related to CJ Stroud.
Okay.
So
All
yeah,
right. So you tell me if you could have dinner with three current NFL wide receivers, who would you eat with and why?
I eat with Tyreek Hill because he just brings the energy. He's always laughing. I probably have to bring Calvin Ridley. That's one of my favorite players. He's a dog too, and I probably does that have to be current?
Uh, you could. I mean, if you got one that's not, that's fine.
Probably Ocho Cinco.
Okay.
Because I'm a Bengals fan, so like
Okay.
that's one of my favorite players right there. So
Okay.
that would probably be like one of the funniest. But Calvin Ridley would just be standing there, smiling. But it would be cool to talk to them. Those are cool guys.
All right. I like it. I appreciate it. We're gonna do a couple more. What's your next one for me?
Um, hmm. What's your favorite? What's your favorite movie? What's your favorite movie?
I love movies. I would have to say, huh. I mean, I love Wedding Crashers and I love Liar Liar. I got a lot of respect for Jim Carrey as a comedian, Vince Vaughn. Vince Vaughn, I call it running stream of consciousness, and I think him and I both have it. So I really like Wedding Crashers. And there's stuff that happened in that movie, like funny stuff that happened to me before the movie came out. So like when I saw in the movie something happened to Vince, there's this one key part where I looked at my room, I was like, dude, this was it. Like this, like that
That's
actually
crazy.
happened. So I had somebody like draw me a picture, like how he had somebody like paint him that picture. And my roommate was like, "Why are you putting it on the wall?" And I was like, "It was a gift." So like, it kind of fit with that. Um,
Hey,
my question back to you, Jakai: if you if you were a superhero for 24 hours, which superhero currently in the Marvel world would you want to be, and why?
currently in the Marvel world,
Mhm.
ooh, probably Deadpool.
Okay, why?
Two swords, two guns. Hey, can't
Yeah,
go wrong with that.
he's a funny guy. He's talented.
Hey,
So,
yeah. And the new movie too.
right. Did you see it?
Nah,
Oh, you gotta go see it.
I want to go see it. I'm about to.
Yeah, you gotta go see it. What's your last question for me?
Um, if you were in an electric chair and you had your last meal, what would your last meal be?
Well, I'm Italian and Hispanic. I'm getting broken out of there. I, I would say if I was on death row, what would be my last meal?
Yep.
Uh, and man, I'd make that meal count. I'd make that.
For
I'd
real.
have sushi. I'd have crab legs. I'd have lobster tail. I've had shrimp, stuffed shells, sweet
Dang,
potatoes.
that boy go.
Yeah, honey, the Texas Roadhouse, sweet bread and honey
Yeah.
butter. I would
Yeah.
have to have a really really long. I just drag it out as long as
For
I
real.
possibly can to make
Hey.
sure that someone can break through that wall for me. But yeah, I mean I trust God. God's always been on my side, so I'm gonna have my last meal and trust that it ain't over. So.
Right.
All right, Jakai, my last one for you. If you could go across country on a trip with anybody in the world, who would you travel across country with? If there was no radio, no AC, like this was going to be you're in the car with this person, but there's no radio. You're going to have to talk to each other. There's no AC, got to put the windows down. Who would you go across country with and why?
Probably my brother, my older brother, my brother Nas, he's always, or my friend Jensen too, they always held it down. If I was the last person at a party and they was there, it'd just still be a party. So
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Fair enough. I'm sure they'll appreciate the shout out from Jakai Gresham here on the broadcast. A 2025 wide receiver, McEachern High School in Powder Springs, Georgia. Make sure you go and check him out on social media. Of course, if you're down in Georgia, go out to the games for McEachern and definitely give him a look, watch the film, see it live. And to the colleges out there, the colleges and universities, to be open to an opportunity. I believe that God definitely looks out, and if you do your part, he will more than meet you halfway, if not coming even farther than that. So, Jakai, my best advice to you is keep praying, control the controllables, work hard, give everything that you can for the glory of God. Don't be selfish, work hard, trust yourself, and keep good people around you, and learn to laugh. And I truly believe and hope that I know that God will help you find a way to whatever that journey is going to hold this next chapter. So just give everything you can every single day. Keep God first and work hard, man, and it's going to work out.
Amen. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Here's a message from Renee from Bryan's Landing, located on 6523 East Seneca Turnpike in Jamesville, New York. Open Tuesdays and Wednesdays for dinner, Thursday through Saturday for lunch and dinner, and Sundays for brunch.
It's a lot like the way that my mom and dad ran their restaurant. We have put in place a lot of people that are family to us, very similar to how my dad hired people that were family to him. And then the tradition I'm carrying on is a lot of the items that are on our menu are my dad's. And he taught our chefs how to recreate his dishes. So I think that Tommy McNerney, who our executive chef is, to him it is an art. And I think that when he does create a dish, it's not just about making the food taste delicious, which is definitely our priority, but it's an art to him, and it's almost like his canvas on a plate where he just wants the colors to look great, and people love it because he takes pride in that. And Bryan and I appreciate that. We want it to obviously look good and taste good. I will tell you, when we opened up, it was 6 weeks before COVID. And what was amazing was the community, our friends and family stepped up, and everybody did takeout. Everybody supported us. Our hearts were just so filled. So to Bryan and I, obviously our friends come all the time, and we just have repeat customers in Jamesville, and I think people going to our previous restaurant in Green Lakes are making the trip to come to Bryan's Landing to support us. And I mean, I think we have great food and a great atmosphere. So it's very, very important to us.
Head to Bryan's Landing, located on 6523 East Seneca Turnpike in Jamesville, New York, where memories have become recipes that are now meals to share with you. Tuesdays and Wednesdays for dinner, Thursday through Saturday for lunch and dinner, and on Sundays for brunch. And be sure to come out for live music Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Here is a special message from Brian Bruno, owner of Servomation Refreshments Incorporated.
I grew up in the family business. I had the experience of working for a national food service company with thousands of employees, and as much as I enjoyed the experience I had, there was something about owning my own company and being able to change the things I saw wrong with the industry firsthand, which is why I moved back to my hometown in Canastota, New York, to launch Servomation. It was back in 2007. When we first started the business in 2007, really you didn't find any machines with credit card readers. There was a lack of variety in machines. You got stuck with basically whatever the vending company wanted to sell that day. There's a lot of inefficiencies in the business, and those were all things that we saw as opportunities, both from a customer level to improve and from an operating level to be more efficient. We've really been at the forefront of introducing retail technology into our space. We were doing self-checkout back in 2009 before it really became a national phenomenon. The whole point of it isn't to just improve the customer experience. It's to make it feel more like a retail environment where people don't have to be afraid of what they're buying behind glass. They don't have to be afraid of not being able to see the ingredients of the packages. It was an easy transaction from that standpoint. If we were to reinvent something, we wanted to make sure what we were making looked and felt more like a deli and not like something that you would traditionally see in a vending machine. I was tired of hearing for years the customers say the wheel of death because the vending machine would circle around with the same tuna salad in it. What we wanted to do was it really changed the perception of that food. So allowing customers to touch it, allowing customers to feel the weight of it, allowing customers to see the freshness of it, and also the variety of it really helps them change the perception and ultimately the value of what we bring to them. The point of differentiation you have to make is either in value or the quality. And I think on both of those fronts, Servamation has really, in large part, changed that value system for employees. So they no longer have to worry about bringing their food from home or having to leave their desk during the day and rush out to get back in time for their break to end. We're bringing something that they can count on in their break room every day, and they know it's going to be there, they know it's going to be fresh, and they don't have to worry about it being sold out or something that they don't enjoy. We've also heavily invested in flavored water machines, so you can get a glass of water with a fresh piece of fruit in it, along with bean-to-cup coffee machines. So there's not a day that goes by we're not surprised when we get customers that call us and say, we didn't know you could do all this. We're really lucky to have a strong group of dedicated employees. Most of our employees have been with us since inception. They're family to us, and people like doing business with people they like and trust. And I think the same thing goes for employees. And in a day and an age where there's a lot of corporations that just look at an employee as a number and don't get to know them, that's just not the way I was raised or how I like to do business. So we're a little old-fashioned. We like getting close to our employees. We like knowing how we can help them. We like knowing how we can improve their lives, adjust their schedules, whatever it may be to help improve their quality of life. And we think in the end that makes for a happier employee. We're fortunate enough to have really grown over the last several years, and from Pennsylvania to Massachusetts to Connecticut, we really do have a strong connection, even though we're not in the rooms every day with these employees. There's not one single employee that we feel like we don't know, and certainly we know they can call us at any time, and they're definitely treated as family to us. I wake up every single day really excited to surprise our customers in a good way. The one thing I can tell you is I think that every one of our employees and every one of our customers will continue to be at the forefront of every decision we make.
Find out how Servomation can help you and your business by going to servomation.com. And a welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. Hope you're having yourselves a wonderful, wonderful morning this morning. And you just had the opportunity to get to meet Jakai Gresham, a lot of you for the first time, and get to hear his story. And like he said at the beginning of it, he was happy to finally be able to tell his story and to share his journey. And I'm glad that he did that with me. And I'm glad that Melanie, his mom, took the time to reach out to me and want to do something like this. She's been in touch with me for over a year, and this was something that was important to her. And she helped to connect me to Jakai. Without her effort, her enthusiasm, her positivity, her consistency, this opportunity doesn't happen. So thank you to Melanie and to the whole family for loving Jakai the way that you do and wanting an awesome future for him. It's a beautiful thing to see. And, that's what life is all about, right? Loving up others, giving to others, wanting to see others succeed, and just wanting our kids to have a better life than we ever had. So, shout out to the parents out there doing amazing things. I see you and I appreciate you. And Jakai, I include you and your family, your grandparents and your parents in that too. So thank you and God bless. With that being said, before we get into the Bearcat Breakroom, we got a few minutes here. Jerry, hope you're feeling better and hope things are going well. And God bless to you as always. I know he's looking out for you, and I know that you know that. Even on your toughest days, I know that you know that. So, here this morning, on the morning after, Aaron Rodgers played a full NFL game. Well, Tyrod Taylor came in at the end. But you know what I mean. He played a full NFL game. He stayed healthy. He got out there. He did his thing. And credit to him for that. Credit to him for the work that he put in. Credit to him for the effort and the enthusiasm to get back. His belief in himself to even be here right now. That rehabbing from any injury is not an easy thing to do. And Aaron Rodgers, he could have said, you know what? It's been great. I tried. I'm done. I had a long career. I know what it's like to be at the top of the mountain. I've won a Super Bowl. I'm good. He's 40 years old. And a lot of guys are not necessarily in the NFL at 40. So he could have hung it up. He chose not to. And to see him have a second shot at his time with the Jets and a second shot at prime time, and to see what that looked like, to see him truly get out there and be a Jet, right? Be a Jet for the first time. Even though he's been there for over a year, this is more than 4 plays. This is more than 75 seconds. This is seeing Aaron on the field. And more than anything else, I was happy that he got on the field and he got off the field on his own accord. You know, that he stayed healthy through this, because I think Jets fans collectively probably held their breath a little bit in this game after everything that's happened, and I'm just happy that he's okay. Now, in this matchup, of all teams that Aaron Rodgers plays in his second chance at a first debut with the Jets, you play the San Francisco 49ers, a team that is not a stranger to making multiple Super Bowl appearances under Kyle Shanahan. Even though they haven't gotten a victory with Kyle yet, they've been there. And it is very difficult to get there once, and let alone a second time, and let alone do it in a short period of time. Very, very difficult to be there. And people think about the champion. They don't always think about the runner-up. But the San Francisco 49ers have made multiple Super Bowls in recent history, and they also have a history of making them and winning them. So it's like, where is that other piece, right? What's missing from the San Francisco 49ers? Do they have it now? Brandon Ayuk is back. Debo's is there with the team. There seemed to be some drama over the last couple of years. They found out last night that you have Jordan Mason. Jordan Mason over 100 yards rushing. Jordan Mason, who's out there doing his thing. Christian McCaffrey, Jordan Mason said he knew Friday that CMC wasn't going to play. But the rest of the world found out yesterday, like a couple hours before the game kicked off. And Mason went out there and did his thing. He didn't care what people thought. He kept the outside noise outside, which is where it belongs by definition. I say that all the time. And he went to work. And it was funny because, and this has happened to me multiple times, and when it happens, I'm like, okay, maybe this means I'm doing something good, right? Maybe it means that, you know, this is a good idea if somebody else is coming up with the idea as well. But I literally was putting on social media last night, and you can go back and look at it. I was putting the GIF up of the cat that's typing on the computer and looking at the computer with their glasses on. What I wrote in that was, you know, this is what fantasy football owners look like as they are scouring their free agency or waiver wire. I put free agency, but I was like, as they're scouring free agency looking for Jordan Mason to try and pick him up before anybody else does. And I'm telling you, I started to write it. I had put it on X, and I was about to put it on Facebook, and I was looking for the GIF. And as I'm downstairs in my kitchen, I hear upstairs on my TV the announcer say, fantasy football owners are scouring the waiver wire trying to get to Jordan Mason. Almost word for word what I had already put up on X. And I thought that was crazy. But I also think that it's true. I think a lot of people are looking for Jordan Mason. He's probably not out there in free agency for you or on the waiver wire. He had himself an incredible day. And, you know, he's one of the great stories. I'm very happy that Aaron Rodgers is back, or as I call him, Aaron. And that is a Key and Peele skit, if you don't know. So very happy to see him back, and we'll get to that in a second. But I want to shout out Jordan Mason, who, to me, was, besides the defense of San Francisco, Jordan Mason was the player of the day. 28 carries, 147 yards, 5.3 yards a carry, and a rushing touchdown. He also had a catch for 5 yards. Jordan Mason is a player in his third season out of Georgia Tech, a team that I've covered for over a decade. He is 25 years old. He was born on May 24th of 1999. So to see Jordan Mason out here doing his thing, and shout out to Georgia Tech, awesome for him to be able to have this. And he spent all 3 of his seasons at San Fran. He played in 2022, he played in 16 games, had 43 carries for 258 yards and a touchdown for the whole season. In 2023, he played in 17 games last year, 40 carries, 206 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Last night, 28 carries. So he's more than halfway to his carries for all of 2023, more than halfway to all of his carries of 2022. And he's little over 100 yards away from his total season of 2022 in one game in 2024. And he is 50 yards and change, 59 yards from his entire total from last year. And has already equaled his total of 16 games in 2022 with 1 touchdown. So breaking that down and looking at it, think about that. He had 43 carries in 16 games as a rookie. He had 28 carries in 1 game last night. 40 carries in 2023 in 17 games. 28 last night. He had 147 yards rushing in 1 game last night to start the 2024-25 season, which is 59, or pardon me, is that 50? Yeah, which is 59 yards away from his 17-game total last season, and it is 111 yards away from his 16-game total in 2022. He has 1 touchdown in 1 game in 2024-25. He had 1 touchdown in 16 games as a rookie. So his numbers last night have him right there, like about to blow out everything he did over an entire season last year and an entire season the year before. How about this? 6 yards a carry in 2022, 5.2 yards a carry last season, 5.3 this season. He has never averaged less than halfway to a first down in the NFL. Pretty awesome, huh? He's yet to have a receiving touchdown. He has caught 4 balls in 2 seasons, caught 3 in 2023-24, and he caught 1 last night for 5 yards. Jordan Mason, player of the game. I don't even think that's a question. And the defense. Morning to Allen. Coming up in just a few minutes, we have the Bearcat Breakroom, and you don't want to miss this. If you're a person who likes positivity, who likes people that are genuine, who likes honesty, who likes to see good people win, and loves a story behind the scenes, you're not going to want to miss the Bearcat Breakroom that's coming up in just a couple minutes with Binghamton University Volleyball and my exclusive multimedia marketing partnership with the Binghamton University Bearcats. Don't want to miss that. So Jordan Mason had himself a day. Proud of him, happy for him. Aaron Rodgers ended his first full game as a Jet in a way that makes me feel like good things are to come. Because my grandfather's number and my number show up a lot together. Sometimes daily. A lot of times daily. His number 13, my number 21. Well, Aaron Rodgers had 13 completions on 21 attempts last night. 167 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. With all due respect, it was not a good pass. His pass was going into his receiver. The DB was there to swat it away, and then the ball went up in the air, and another defensive player caught it. So he didn't throw a true interception. He threw a not great pass that got tipped in the air that became an interception. So when it says interception, I want to temper here. I also want to I want to be real about that he didn't throw an interception as much as an interception became of a bad pass. And his 13 for 21, there were drops along that way. So his completion percentage should be higher because some of those balls were just honest drops and, just guys that didn't reel it in. And then the interception, I don't put 100% on him for that. It was a bad pass, but I don't see it as an interception like that. Tyrod Taylor, a true one, I should say. Tyrod Taylor came in toward the end of the game, went 6 for 8, 36 yards, and a touchdown. Allen Lazard had 2 touchdowns in the game, one from Aaron Rodgers, one from Tyrod Taylor, which I thought was pretty cool. He had 6 catches to lead the team, 89 yards on 9 targets. Garrett Wilson also had 6 catches, 29 yards behind the total for Allen Lazard. He had 60 yards. He was targeted the most with 11 targets. Breece Hall out of the backfield was targeted 6 times, caught 5, had 39 yards receiving. He also had 54 yards on 16 carries rushing, 3.4 yards a carry, and a touchdown. So Breece Hall altogether, if you're in a PPR or a PPR standard hybrid like mine is, which equates to a lot of points, you look at Breece Hall last night and you say to yourself, 39 yards receiving, 54 yards rushing. You put that all together and say that that's 93 total yards plus a touchdown, plus he caught 5 passes. That's pretty good for Breece Hall. They didn't have a great day as a team scoring, but Breece did some work here. Allen Lazard getting involved. Am I surprised? And on the free play, by the way, the free play where San Francisco jumped off sides, Aaron Rodgers stayed cool, calm, and collected, dropped back like no one was ever going to touch him, looked like he trusted that line all day and trusted himself, threw that ball down the field to Allen Lazard, who was calling for it, got the touchdown. Great to see them link up for their first touchdown as Jets, because Allen Lazard came over with Aaron Rodgers from another green team, the Green Bay Packers, where they had linked up and had a good relationship. Allen Lazard started his career in the NFL on the practice squad with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Green Bay got Allen Lazard off the practice squad at Jacksonville, brought him into Green Bay, where Aaron Rodgers didn't seem too happy with his receiving core, but he liked Allen Lazard, and Allen Lazard was down the depth chart, but I thought, if Aaron likes him, this guy's going to rise up. And he did, and he was one of the targets that Aaron Rodgers trusted, and trusted enough to not only have in Green Bay, but to want to take with him to New York, and New York Jets organization obliged that, brought him into New York with Aaron, and they just had their first touchdown link up as Jets. So another touchdown for the duo, their first one as New York Jets players. And how about this? It is the 18th touchdown that Aaron Rodgers has thrown on a free play. On a play where the defense is going to be called for something, so you got a free play, because no matter what happens, there's going to be a penalty on the defense. He now has 18 career touchdowns on free plays, this 18th going to Allen Lazard. On the other side of it, Juwan Jennings led the receivers for San Fran in yardage with 64. Him and Debo caught the same amount of passes with 5, and Jennings caught all 5 thrown his way. God willing, he's okay, as he was kind of limping there on the sideline, having some trouble, so God bless to him. Debo Samuel was targeted the most, 9 times, caught 5. Kyle Juszczyk was the fullback who they utilized. Love seeing teams with a fullback. 3 targets, caught 2, 40 yards on just 2 catches. George Kittle had 40 yards on 4 catches. He was targeted 5 times. Brandon Ayuk, who was holding out for a minute, he had 5 targets, caught 2 for 28 yards. He did not score in the game. Debo did not score in the game. George Kittle did not score in the game. There was no receiving. How about this? There was no receiving touchdowns in the game. San Francisco relied on their kicker and relied on their rushes. Debo Samuel had 8 carries for 23 yards, 2.9 yards a carry behind Jordan Mason. They both had a rushing touchdown. Beyond that, we saw Malik Collins with a fumble recovery, and then San Francisco's defense came to play, man, and they did what they needed to do. Demetrius Flanagan-Fowles had an interception. That was the interception that came off of the deflection of Aaron Rodgers' pass. And Jake Moody was 6 for 6. Man, should have got me a bunch of points here. 6 for 6 in field goals. Longest was 53 yards. 2 for 2 on extra points. He had 20 points last night. 20 of the 32 points scored by San Francisco came from Jake Moody. And would you believe, I think I still lost my fantasy by like less than a touchdown. ridiculous. So, but congratulations to Aaron for being there, for being back, for being on the field, for getting through an entire game as a Jet. That's good to see. Jet's got some work to do, but I spoke with offensive coordinator Nate Hackett after the game, and he said there was a lot of good things that they saw, things to work on, and they needed to get a game under their belt. So excited to see what's going to happen here. We'll take a step aside for a fast break. We'll be back right after this with our special with the Binghamton University Bearcats. In these unique times, there are those in our community that give us a sense of normalcy and positivity. Pizza Man on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville has been here for you for over 35 years and is here now. Call 315-638-1234 or order online at pizzamanbville.com to bring those familiar tastes into your home. And remember to come see our monthly on-site broadcasts centered around the community and our Baldwinsville Bees. Pizza Man in Baldwinsville. Any way you slice it, they are always here for you. Looking for your next ride? Look no further than Great Lakes Honda City, located on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Serving our community for decades, their new and pre-owned vast array of vehicles are available to you Monday through Saturday on site. To search from home, shop at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Call 315-365-5576 to set up an appointment. That's 315-365-5576 for Great Lakes Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Great cars, great people, Great Lakes.
All right, you need to come out here and get yourself the Brooklyn Pickle. I was talking about this with one of my buddies. I was like, yo, there's no better sandwich in the state of New York than the Brooklyn Pickle. And now that I found out that they're going down to North Carolina, we are taking over your taste buds everywhere you are, wherever you're going to be. You need to get yourself out to the Brooklyn Pickle. Pinehurst, you just realized that you found yourself the best sandwich shop that you're ever going to have. This is a glorious moment. It's a blessing to your community. You're welcome. Brooklyn in the house, baby. Go over to the Brooklyn Pickle. You already know what it is.
You heard the man. Head to Brooklyn Pickle Pinehurst on 1788 Old Morgantown Road in Southern Pines, North Carolina. Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life, as we're looking to get our video set up with Binghamton. So give us 1 second here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Once again, we appreciate you being here every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time, where sports meets life. Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets life. Happy to be here with you every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time, of course, on YouTube.com, Facebook.com, both /WakeUpCallDT, and on WakeUpCallDT.podbean.com. I have the pleasure of having Bearcat Time every Tuesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time worldwide in our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership with the Binghamton University Bearcats that are located just an hour south of where I grew up in Syracuse, New York. We are here today, picture in picture, with Binghamton University's volleyball program following 2024 Fairfield Invitational victories. Not one, not two, but three in a row. And I am ecstatic to be able to have this conversation with you this morning on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. So shout out to our head coach who's with us, Allie Yaeger, as well as our student athlete, Tsvet, Ilieva. Happy to have you both here. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. And Tsvet, I want to start with you. You told me before the show got started you had to put your bun on because people know you for the bun. So bring me into how long have they known you for the bun, and why is this part of your personality?
I don't know. It's just my hair is so annoying. So every time, like, it's kind of like a game day ritual. I think freshman year I played with 2 braids, and I haven't played since. It was such a bad game for me. So I was like, that's a sign that I just need to stick with the bun. And every time, like, and I have one hair tie. It's bright pink, and people actually know me by this hair tie. Every time I walk around campus, they see me with this bright pink hair tie. They're like, "This is Tsvet." And every time I play, my parents are like, "Oh, we like." Sometimes the camera will be a little blurry, and they would see the bun, and they'll be like, "Oh, that's our daughter."
Nice.
And it's kind of like my thing now.
So
and once you get going, you can't hold back. So
It's very dramatic.
I was gonna say having this pink hair tie and the bun. I guess this has become superstition that you have to have this for every game, every match.
A little bit, yeah. I actually like get worried when I can't see my pink hair tie. The bun, like you said, because you need 2 hair ties, the bun's fine. But when I can't see my pink hair tie around me, I get worried.
She just dropped it on the ground the other day, and she was like, "Oh my god, my pink hair tie."
Yeah.
So Allie, I have. What were you gonna say, Tsvet?
I was gonna say it's just crazy because I think I've used it, knock on wood, for like 2 years now.
So Allie, I have to ask you here: do you have any superstitions for match day?
Oh my gosh. I mean, I'm not like that. I like to think I'm not like that. However, if I go through like my closet of clothes, because I do dress up for every single match, I can probably go through all of my outfits in my closet and be like, lost to Villanova in 3, beat Creighton in 4, like I can go through everything. And if I go like twice with losing in a certain outfit and I don't really repeat an outfit, it takes about 3 years for me to repeat an outfit. But if I do keep it and I repeat it and I've lost twice in it, it's out. So that's probably my only that's probably it, but I don't think I'm very superstitious.
Well, if you have an outfit that you can remember every match, either a win or a loss, and if that outfit in that 3-year rotation loses again and you take it out, then I guess it's fair to ask you what your favorite outfit is.
Oh my gosh, my favorite outfit. I mean, I have outfits that I save that I will never wear again, but I'll never throw it out because it was very special for me. So, I mean, definitely, there was, back when I was at Seton Hall, back in my 2014 season, which was a very special season for me, I have beaten Marquette in 5 in the semi-final game for the Big East tournament, and I have a black dress that sits in my closet that reminds me just of how amazing that 2014 season was for us. So I do have a couple favorite outfits, yes, definitely. A lot of memories come back when you go through my walk-in closet at home.
So is after this weekend, is it fair to say that the bun and the pink hair tie held up? And also to state the fact that, is there another favorite outfit maybe for you, Coach, coming from the Fairfield Invitational?
I mean, I'll always remember what I was wearing when we just beat Boston College. Yeah, for sure. And I'll always remember the outfit when we reverse swept New Hampshire in the semi game last year too. I was really proud. Oh yeah. I mean, for big matches, I can go through. I think you would actually be pretty shocked. It's pretty impressive that I can remember for years and years what I wear for certain matches that are very memorable.
Yeah, I think it's incredible that you have that very unique connection to it. It also shows your ability to not only have a photographic memory, but to have a strong memory, Allie. So I hope that is something, you're kind of the Rain Man of volleyball, I think, at this point.
Yeah, you can say that.
So looking at the matches that happen here in the Fairfield Invitational, I want to go back to the first one because we had Friday and then 2 Saturday matches. The one on Friday, September 6th, Central Connecticut State, a 3-0 victory for you. I'm going to start with you, Tsvet. Just what you can say about that CCSU matchup and what your takeaway was from that first match of the Invitational.
Well, we came off of a really hard loss against Villanova, so I was nervous if the team will pull through because it was a really, really long Wednesday. We kind of almost reverse swept Villanova. We were down 2-0, and then we got to the fifth set, and we weren't able to, like, execute, so we lost in five. And I was a little nervous, even though, like, we were, like, a better technical team than CCSU. I was nervous if we were gonna be able to execute, because sometimes we have a tendency to play a little bad against teams that are, like, not as challenging as, like, for example, Boston College. But I think, I mean, we were able to play very clean volleyball, at least the first and the third set. And I think, like, the coaches, for the most part, were very pleased with us. And I think we were able to show them and show kind of, like, the people that were watching us what we were working on that week, so, like, last week.
And Allie, going off of what Tsvet had to say about this, the match that you had just a couple days before, Wednesday on the road in Villanova, Pennsylvania, a 3-2 loss. Your team's bounced back from that Villanova match to not get beaten twice. Just how you can say your team responded against Villanova, as Tsvet was saying, trying to reverse sweep and come back, how they ended that match against Villanova, and how they responded a couple days later in that first Fairfield Invitational game against CCSU.
Yeah, I mean, we came off of our home tournament from last weekend where we weren't happy with our performance at all weekend long. It was disappointing for all of us because I know that we're better than what we showed and we're better than what we performed. So I was really excited for Villanova. We were very excited for Villanova. Coming from Seton Hall and coming from the Big East, we're very familiar with that gym. We're very familiar with that coaching staff. We're very familiar with just their style of play. So we were really excited to play them, and we've been there. We know that gym. It was packed. It was loud. It was a fun environment. I think it was a really fun environment to play in. For
and
sure.
it was fun to play against a former teammate. This is
yeah.
It was actually the first time I've played against a former teammate here in the U.S. And it was funny because back at Seton Hall, that setter from Villanova now, she used to, like, beat at me, like, serving at me all the time during practice. And it was kind of like, I've progressed as a passer a lot from Seton Hall. So I kind of, even though, like, I don't think I was thinking that the coach was, like, serve number 11, I kind of knew she was going to serve me. And the first ball, she would always ace me. This girl, I can't pass, like, her serves for the left of me. And the first time she went to serve, I knew she was going to serve me. And I passed a perfect ball. And that's how I knew I was gonna have a good game.
She's talking, when we were at Seton Hall, Taylor Jakubowski, who is the setter for Villanova, I had recruited Taylor and we came in together at Seton Hall. And so when I left the program, and Tsvet obviously came with me from Seton Hall here, Taylor had stayed, and then she transferred this last year to Villanova. So it was nice because we're still very close with Taylor. She's one of my favorite players that I've ever coached, and so it was fun to play against her. But that's what Tsvet's talking about. But yeah, I mean, it was a fun environment to play in. But then it was so important that we were able to do the job against Central Connecticut State because we were coming off 3 games of losing, which I know we're better than that, and to come off a heartbreaker against Villanova. Just how crazy focused we had to be able to get the job done, and they worked. So, it set the stage, it set the tone for the rest of the weekend, in my opinion, at Central Connecticut State. And it was nice because we got 1 day break, and then so Villanova Wednesday, 1 day break, and then we played Central Connecticut State, and that was the only match that we played. So it was nice that they were a little fresher. Than actually they were on Saturday. But yeah, it was good. I mean, they came out strong, they came out focused. Recently, errors, I tell them all the time, the one thing that stands in our way is ourselves. We have a lot of serving errors, we'll make some hitting errors here and there, we'll get aced at times. So we just gotta keep the errors low on our end, and we did that against Central Connecticut State. So we got the job done in 3. It was what we needed. We needed that badly, in my opinion.
Yeah, and like you said, I mean, you came over from Seton Hall and you brought Tsvet with you here. And what was, we'll get into kind of what went into that decision, but to be able to have that move where you go from Seton Hall coach to Binghamton, what was the conversation like with Tsvet about this, about the opportunity to have a fifth year and to come with you, you know, to transfer portal and bring a familiar face with you from the Big East over here to the America East? Bring me into that decision that you made and then getting a twofer instead of just you coming, bringing Tsvet with you.
Yeah, so I was the assistant here at Binghamton back in 2005 and 6. It was actually my first job out of college. So this program and this area has always held a really special place in not only my heart, but like my family's heart.
Yeah.
I'm always keeping up with this program. I was close with former head coach here, Glenn Kiriyama. I still talk with all the players that I coached in the 2005 and 6 season. So when this job had opened up, it was something that I knew I was definitely interested in. You know, I was at Seton Hall for so long, and it was, I wanted to win. I loved being at Seton Hall. I was there for 15 seasons. I left Binghamton to go to Seton Hall and then left Seton Hall to come back to Binghamton. So it's kind of cool in that way of the story. But I just, you know, we're in the Big East. We're in a conference with Marquette and Creighton, and it's hard. I mean, I'll be the first one to admit that it's not fun playing both of them twice a year and being on the road as much as you are in the Big East. And, you know, I've had some really good teams at Seton Hall, and you're taking third, you're tying with Villanova for fourth. Like, it's a tough conference, especially with, like I said, Creighton and Marquette always being in the top 25 every single week with the ABCA Coaches Bowl. And so I knew by coming here that I could do big things. And I wanted the challenge of flipping a program. I've never done that before. And kind of building my own program and championship culture. And it was just really intriguing to me to come back here. And I thought it would be a really cool story and a really cool experience and very rewarding. And so when I got the job and I accepted it, I was always very close to Tsvet. I mean, the recruiting process with her was I always say it's a long one, but it was. I mean, I feel like we, you know, we clicked right away when we talked on the phone. So when she came to Seton Hall, she came during COVID. She was a COVID recruit. So she actually couldn't even get into the country when we were going to bring her for an official visit. They had just shut down the borders, so she couldn't come. And then she couldn't come also for first semester because we weren't having a season, and we couldn't, like, no international kids were allowed in the country and in the university. So her freshman year, her whole first semester, she wasn't even there with us. So we didn't get her until after Christmas. And then we had, another season? It was just one more season that we had together. Before I left. And we were just always close. I mean, she's always, and I will always say this, I've been doing this a long time, and it's not, every once in a while you get very, 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 very special players. And she's one of them. And just our relationship, she's like my child. She gets yelled at like she's my child too. She gets held to a very high standard in our gym. Yeah. But we know each other really well. I would do absolutely anything for her. Like I said, she's like my child. And as soon as I accepted the job here at Binghamton, I was like, oh my God, Tsvet. And actually Taylor, who I was telling you about, who transferred to Villanova, they were my two first calls. And when I took the job, it was over our Christmas break. Mm-hmm. And so I had to have a Zoom call with the team to tell them, which was terrible, that I was leaving and I was going to accept a different job. And I was probably going to be gone by the time I got back from Christmas break. And I couldn't do that to her, and I couldn't do that to Taylor because I was so close with them. I couldn't do that to them. So I FaceTimed them individually, separately. And the crying, I mean, me and Tsvet were crying, and then I called Taylor, me and Taylor were crying, and it was kind of one of those things that you can ask Tsvet about it, but it was just like, you know, she's like, I came to play for you, and if you go, I go. It was kind of like, where are we going? So I had a scholarship available, and it was like, let's go. And I was like, let's just go and, like, completely pair this conference up. Yeah, like, she was one of the best outsides in the Big East. And and I knew she was going to have an unbelievable season here. And I knew we could make her an All-American. I knew she could be Player of the Year here in this conference, and I wanted to be there for it. I mean, she's like my child, and I knew we could have a lot of fun and do big things here. So that's kind of the long version of how we got here together.
And Tsvet, I'd love for you to go into that when you heard from Coach Yaeger that she, obviously the one that recruited you, she was going to be leaving Seton Hall, and just bring me into that process of being there without her and then eventually bonding back with her again.
Well, the thing is, with it being an international, you look forward to going back home. And I was living the time of my life. It was the first, real season and, real semester. Because my first semester, I came in, middle of January, and I left beginning of April. Because our season, it was, a shortened season. And Coach Al was told the team, as soon as we were done with games, you guys can leave. Because everything else was online. So me, as, first semester international, I'm see ya. And I left. And then we had to be back end of July, kind of around the 30th, even a little earlier than that. And I was in the US for almost 5-6 months. So it was such a good time to go back home, to enjoy everyone, my family. And we live in cute, a big house with my family, my aunt's family, my grandparents. So it can never be silent. If that's that's a phrase for Igbo gear. I don't know if it's a phrase here. Anyways, it's you can't catch a break. And I enjoy it because I'm used to being around people. And at Seton Hall with my roommate at the time, she was kind of on her own the whole time. So I was forced to be on my own for most of the time. So it was very bad. So anyways, while I'm saying this, I was enjoying my time at home. And then I receive it. And we always joke around, even through texts. And she texts me, I need to talk to you. Period. I was yo, am I in trouble? What's going on? Because sometimes I will do something with the best intentions possible, and I will get myself in trouble. Anyways, and we get on a call, and you didn't even get the full version of my emotions. Because she called me, we cried a little bit. I was what do you mean? You're not going to be there? I'll come. Because I would always storm in her office and just yell, whatever, talk about stuff. And I literally, my initial reaction was, what do you mean when I come back to Seton Hall, you won't be there? I won't be able to storm in your office. And the first thing I did when I went back to Seton Hall, I went in her office and it was empty. And it was crazy. And I hung up the phone and I went to my mom and I was what did the coach want to talk to you about? And I'm Mom, she's leaving. And I started crying to my mom. And she couldn't even make me stop because I was really, really sad. And she's we're going. And we're going. She was whenever she goes, you're going. And I'm yep, I'm going. And that's kind of it was not even I had to think about it. It was more of we're doing it. And my mom was and my parents in general, my family, was supporting me with whatever I decided. And they saw the connection Coach Otto and I had. And my mom was kind of at peace because she's from the type of mothers that worry 100% even though they don't have to worry about stuff. And she was very peaceful when she knew Coach Al was so supportive of me and was next to me with everything. So that's why my mom was supporting me when I wanted to follow Coach Al. And that semester after I came back and Coach Al wasn't at Seton Hall, it was probably the worst semester I've ever had of college. But
yeah, because she couldn't transfer until the end of the year.
Yeah,
so she was at Seton Hall for a whole semester without me.
Yeah. And I had friends there, but the team didn't take it very well that I was transferring. So I was kind of being isolated, if you may. But if it meant for me to be isolated and me being a 2 times All-American, it was worth it.
Yeah, and I appreciate this because it's the story behind the story of the success that you just recently had is this road of meeting each other, and something that I consider so very important. And, people say when it comes to the world that I live in, on the media side of it, I always say I'm media by badge, but not by who I am. And relationships should trump everything. And they say,
Agreed.
how do you deal in this world with the transfer portal and NIL and conferences changing and social media and this me world, and take care of myself and let's not think about anybody else. And I told people, I said, the one thing that people will always yearn for is honesty, transparency, trust, love, real, genuine relationships. And if you are a genuine person who cares about building bonds with other people, you will go up against anything that you're faced with in this world, and you'll succeed. And that's exactly what it sounds like here. It sounds like I'm talking to you both on screen in Forest Green because of the relationships.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's always something very important for me in my coaching career is my relationships. But I'm telling you, we have 6 international players on the roster this year. And as a mother, I have 2 children. I have 2 boys, a 16-year-old and an 11-year-old. And I can't imagine putting my kids on a plane across the world, not just across the country, and being like, good luck. Call me if you need me, but our time change is 8 hours. So, it's very important for me that I'm another mother in all the girls, not just the international players, but in all their lives, because, we don't have a lot of local kids. I mean, out of an 18-person roster that we have, we have like maybe 3 local kids that can drive home. After that, everybody's a plane ride home. So it's so important to me that they feel loved and that they feel that they're taken care of. And it's really important to me that their parents feel the same way, when they're coming to me, because I can't imagine what she does and what her parents have to do and put her on a plane and be like, see ya, hope it all works out. Here if you need us. I can't imagine. So taking care of these guys is really important to me.
And it was so funny because when my mom and my dad came last year to watch a couple of our games, they came by themselves, so they were they wanted to surprise me. And I see my mom, we were like, very happy to see each other, and she goes, I can't believe we put you through this by yourself. Because she said all the plane rides and time difference and getting from JFK to Binghamton is like another 4 hours. But you have to get from the airport to the trains to the bus station. And she's like, thank God for Cal. She was there to help you through. I'm like, yep, thank God.
And that was actually when her parents came last year. It was about a year ago, right?
During season.
Yeah, that was the first time I met your mom, live in person. I see her all the time. Svet's always on FaceTime with her mom, always. And Tsvet comes in, grabs a snack in my office, says hi, shows me your mom. I'm like, how's it going? But and I had met your dad once when he came to Seton Hall, for a second. But
it was so funny because when she met my dad came in during that semester that she wasn't at Seton Hall.
Yeah.
So I saw her for the first time in months. Yeah. And that's when she met my dad. And we were kind of like, oh my God, this and this. We were catching up. And then my dad was just sitting there. Just noticing, and I'm like, I'm sorry, and we kind of tried to get into him in the conversation. He goes, no, I enjoy you guys talking.
Yeah. Funny. But when I met her mom, it was from one mother to another mother. It's her real mother and then her fake mother. And, we hugged, and it was awesome to finally, after so many years, gosh, to meet, 4 years that I finally met her mom live in person.
Yeah, and you could tell, and that's the thing when we talk about relationships, is you could tell how genuine this is, and the back and forth is. So you started this before Seton Hall, brought it into Seton Hall, brought it over to Binghamton. Why are you both excited to have this chapter of your life be with the Bearcats? What is it about Binghamton University that Allie brought you back? And Tsvet, I know that your relationship with Allie brought you here, but I'll start with you, Tsvet. Why do you like being a Bearcat? Why was this a good decision for you?
Well, I keep saying, I think I've said that multiple times of how I wanted to come to Binghamton because of her, but then when I came to visit, the team sealed the deal because they took me. It was literally just me and two other girls walking around campus. It was so pretty, even though it was like freezing because it was maybe February. It was so pretty, and then the team was really really nice. Like I watched practice. It was they were being very nice to me, and I was like, I think this is a team where I could be fully myself and I could fit in perfectly. And then that was kind of like what sealed the deal with Coach Al and the team. And when I came here and like actually started playing and like coming to school here, I love everything about Binghamton. The community, how everyone is so excited about volleyball, how everyone is like they would see us in the hallways. Oh my God, you guys played so good against New Hampshire. Such a good game. You guys won it for, and everyone is just like excited about every single sport here. It was not because I feel at Seton Hall everything was about basketball because it was like a big conference and like basketball was pretty good. So not a lot of people knew of the volleyball team, which was pissing me off because we were not. Can I say that?
Yeah, you can say
that. Because we were not a bad team. We were like working really, really hard, and we were like putting 1,000% of ourselves on the floor. But not a lot of people were seeing that. Well, here, people see the hard work we put in every single day, and they're even more excited than what we are. So that's another thing I love about Binghamton. And the nature, it's so pretty. I'm obsessed. When fall comes in, like the leaves starts changing, you can't catch me inside. I'm outside all the time.
I love it. I absolutely love it. We need to cut that and put that out there as a Binghamton promo. Allie, what brought you back? You were an assistant. You went to Seton Hall. You led. You had 144 match wins out there. Then you come back to Binghamton. Why?
Oh man. It's just that, like I said, this place has always held such a special place in my heart. I loved my time when I was here back in 2005 and 6. I love the administration. I love the area, like Svet's talking about. I think it's beautiful in upstate New York. And me and my husband just had a lot of friends in the area, tons of friends that we had. We were only here I was here 2 seasons, not quite 2 years. And the amount of friends that we made that have been lifelong friends for us is crazy when I think back on it. So there were just so many pluses on coming back. And like I said, I knew I could win this conference, and I wanted the challenge of rebuilding a program and flipping a program because I had never done it before. And these last couple of years are so special to me. And all these players are so special to me, and the kids from the old coaching staff are so special to me. And I don't know. It's been fun. And I echo every single thing that Tsvet says about this athletic department and just community here at Binghamton. They care so much about everything. They're excited about volleyball. The community's excited about volleyball. The administration is excited about volleyball. Just even us being in the event center for the first time ever in program history, that's administration believing in us and being like, no, we want you to play in our arena, not in the West Gym. So it's very cool. It's been so much fun. It's been so rewarding. And the outreach that I get from the alumni, the people that I tell the girls all the time, don't forget about the people that came before you. The alumni reach out has been amazing, and just everybody I'm getting to know and how excited they are for the program. And like Tsvet says, you can't walk through the event center or this West Gym without somebody stopping you and talking about the weekend or what you have coming up for the coming weekend. And everybody's just excited about it and so supportive. And it's such a fun environment to be a part of. And for Tsvet, and I don't think she even realizes this, but she's not only the face of this program, but I feel like she's been the face of this athletic department. And at times she's the face of this conference too, with all the awards that she's won. So I think it was a good move for Tsvet to come here. I always believe in her. I'm not sure how many of these awards she would have been able to get at Seton Hall if we would have stayed there. And I'm so happy that I've been there all along the way with her to do all of it. It's so much fun. And like I said, as a coach, it's very rewarding.
Yeah. And honestly, I love this. I love what I've gotten to know about Binghamton over the years. My plan to work with Binghamton was a process that started over 3 years ago. My desire of seeing value in the school in the Southern Tier, and the student athletes and the coaches, you both included, are a reminder to me that whatever was calling to me, the saying like, hey, don't forget about this school, that there's so many great people within it that definitely made this worth the fight and worth the wait. Before we get into rapid fire, where we all get to put each other on the hot seat and have some fun with that, I do want to look at the fact of you saying you get to play in the event center, and that means a lot to you. You're not playing in the West Gym anymore. Well, you, with 21 matches left in the regular season, 15 of them will not be at home. There will be a bunch in New York. There will be Northeast. But we talk about playing in the event center. There's only 6 more match days that we get to do that here in this 2024 season. So bring me into that, knowing that you have to be road warriors for 15 of the 21 matches for the rest of this regular season. And Coach, I'll start with you.
The road doesn't scare me. It doesn't. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love being at home, and I always say the same stuff. I love sleeping in our own beds and eating our own food and being on our own time. But the road doesn't scare me. This team is very special. They're very, very talented. And I told them this weekend, I don't even think that they understand how talented they are. And again, when you've been doing this as long as I have, I've been through a lot of teams and a lot of players and a lot of outside hitters and a lot of middle hitters and setters and all conference players. But, this team is up there with some of my best teams that I've ever coached, and they're so talented. We just got to find a way to put this all together. But I think the last 4 matches we've played are all road, obviously, matches, and we've played well. We played really well. Everything was significantly better than when we played home last weekend. So the road for me doesn't scare me. They just have to stay focused and stay disciplined. And I think they like road trips. I think this is a group that's very close. They love each other very, very much, and they do everything together. So when we're sitting on a bus ride, they're loud, they're playing music, they're playing games, they're having fun in the back, where you don't get that connection when you're at home for a weekend, because everybody goes to their own places, and it comes back when we eat. And everybody goes back home to their own places, and then we come back together. But they're forced to be together the whole time on the road. So, like I said, the road doesn't scare me, especially with this group, because they love being together and they love spending that time together.
Yeah, and Tsvet, for you, I mean, listen, coming from Bulgaria, everything's a road match, right? So what can you say about the fact of not really caring if you're at home or on the road? Of course, you love being home, but 21 matches to go in the regular season, and 15 of those will be away from Binghamton. Your thoughts?
That's great. I mean, because it's my last semester in the U.S., I'm leaving after December, after the semester is done. So I see every game as like, this could be your last game. So I kind of don't really pay attention to if it's at home or if it's away. Right now, I've played better away than at home. So if 16 matches away means I play 16 matches better, I'll take it. And I really like what Coach Al said. I really love the fact that we get to spend so much time together, because obviously we love each other when we have home games and we get to see our friends after, our friends before, our families. But it's kind of like, yeah, we're friends, but let's go home, While like when we are away and we are at the hotel, even after we're done eating, obviously we eat all together. We get together in one of the rooms. We are 5 people in each bed. We do homework together. We talk, listen to music, get fill all the freshmen in on the stories from the past seasons. We laugh. I am obsessed with how close we are and how good it feels when you're away. And volleyball wise, I feel, I don't know why, I don't know if you can back me up on that. I feel every time we're away, we're kind of like the underdogs. Even when we are kind of like the team on the better side of the tournament, every time we step foot on the court, I feel like the underdogs, because we're away. We're not home. It's not our gym. Yeah, we're at a disadvantage. So I'm excited because, as she said, we are very talented. I'm very excited about this team because not only are we good volleyball players, but we have good chemistry. So that helps even more. And I'm excited because I love when people underestimate us. And after set one, they're like, whoa, Binghamton's good. So, yeah.
Yeah, I love it. So Binghamton Bearcats volleyball here with me in this edition of the Bearcat Breakroom here with head coach Allie Yaeger and student athlete Tsvet Ilieva here with us on the broadcast from Bulgaria. We're going to start rapid fire, and Tsvet, you get to ask me the first question.
Go ahead. Any question?
What's your favorite country?
Oh, my favorite country. Well, the United States of America, what it used to be. But, the United States post a few years ago, I guess I would say. But we got some work to do. I love the United States. My family's from Spain and Italy, so obviously there's a call back to that. But no, I love the United States. I love what the flag is supposed to stand for. I'm the grandson of World War II vets. I am the great nephew of World War II vets. So my family was a part of making sure that evil didn't win. And I'm going to do my best to carry the torch to make sure evil doesn't win in America again.
I love it.
So
Cool.
My question back to you, Tsvet, is tell me 3 things about Bulgaria. So if you were going to be
how much time you got on this?
if you were the tour guide and I was going to Bulgaria for the first time, what are 3 things that I have to do? Like whether it be food or place to visit, I need you to be my tour guide. And if I only had 3 things in Bulgaria, what would they be?
Well, we have a lot of traditional dishes. So food is one. We're going to go to one of those traditional restaurants. We're going to order every single thing. You're going to try all of them. Second, we're going to take a walk in the mountains. It's really, really pretty. We have really pretty nature. And third, we're going to go out in clubs. Bulgarian clubs are fun. Bulgarian clubs are really fun.
Okay. I love it.
Every time I come back from one of the breaks, either winter break or the summer break, people here are like, "Yo, this looks like so much fun."
They saw it on your
I'm like, I know, because it is fun. So yes, those are the 3 things.
I love it. Coach, what's your question for me?
Where did you go to college and what did you major in?
I went to Marywood University, which is an hour from Binghamton. So Binghamton's the midpoint of my hometown of Syracuse and Marywood and Scranton, PA. So I went there. I majored in digital media and broadcasting as my bachelor's, but I took an overall communication arts. And because as a broadcaster, which I will hit, this is insane because I started when I started college, but I hit 21 years in November. And I feel like a baby. It makes me feel like I'm 100 years old, but yeah, it'll be 21 years in November. And then on top of that, being able to work in theater, being able to work with screenwriting. And I have a lot of things I want to do musically, comedically, screenwriting wise. So I got a full scope of things at Marywood. I loved my education there. And shout out to Jay Hamrin, who's watching over us in heaven. He was more than half the reason why I went there. So ended up being my teacher and advised me on pretty much everything that was important to me. And without Jay, I don't think I would have been at Marywood. So I'm going to say Shout out to Jay. My question to you, Allie, if you were not a head coach of volleyball, what would be your profession right now? What's your other passion and why?
Cooking. It's my way of my favorite thing to do to take a deep breath and step away from film and season and just the craziness of being a Division I coach is I love just cooking dinner at home for my family. I like to think I'm good at it.
Oh my God.
We
look forward to it every single year. And the freshmen, because we have a big group of newcomers in general, maybe 8
this year, yeah.
8 newcomers. So they're always like asking about team dinners, because I think we did a couple for the time I was here. We are like hyping them up big time.
Yeah, I know. We need to do it. We haven't done it yet. Normally we do a preseason one, but we didn't have time to preseason, so quick this year. But yeah, I usually have that.
But for food, oh, we are literally like, we don't eat the whole day because we need like as much as we can get. It's so good.
Yeah, we usually have a couple team meals at my house. We always do a big Halloween party.
I won the pumpkin carving last year.
We carve pumpkins, but
Awesome.
well, I'm sure people know this, but fun fact is that none of the international kids celebrate Halloween.
We celebrate because we watch American movies and American TV shows.
But none of them, like when they come here, none of them have carved pumpkin before. So usually our Halloween party at my house is the first time. If you're a newcomer on the team internationally, it's the first time you're carving a pumpkin. So yeah, so I would probably be a chef, maybe. I mean, that's my passion, and I do love it.
Oh, I love that, and I will say this. I need to time correctly this season when you're cooking, because when I come down to visit Binghamton and go to a match, maybe I can get some leftovers or something.
You got it. You got it. You got it.
All right, I'm going to hit this quick because I know you got class vet. So you get one more question for me. What do you got?
What is your go-to meal?
Oh, man.
Yes.
Probably, being Hispanic and Italian, I got a lot of cool stuff I go to. But I'd probably say my homemade tacos or nachos that I do with my chicken or my shrimp that I season. So I would say probably my homemade tacos or nachos, because I put a lot in them and I make them very colorful, and you have something in every bite, as opposed to when you go out and you might have like a bunch of nachos that have, or a bunch of chips that have nothing on them. So I would probably say that.
Are you a big chicken cutlet guy, being Italian?
So it's funny that you say that, because my guy Tommy DeVito, who played for Syracuse, he has a nickname, and he's Italian as well. And his mom gave me this, and if you could see it on here, it says, hold on, let me get it right here. It says, oh, let me go here. I don't know, I get it. It says Tommy Cutlets.
Oh my God. That is funny.
Yeah, I love chicken cutlets. Absolutely love them. So I actually miss them because they're so good. I got to get my mom to do them again. All right, Tsvet, I got a quick question for you. Okay. If you had to go on tour with any singer or band, since you talked about going out to the club, who would you tour with and why?
Well, contrary to what people think of me, I'm a big country music fan.
Okay.
And I love Luke Combs. My first ever concert was this past spring, and I went to see Luke Combs in Penn State. I love this guy. He's so good. I'm obsessed with his music. If I had to choose to go on a tour, it would be with Luke Combs, because I'm obsessed with his music.
I love it. Coach, you got one more quick. What do you got?
Well, since you do podcasts, what is your favorite podcast?
My favorite podcast, would you say to listen to?
Yeah, like what's your favorite one?
If it's not
Or
me.
give me a top 3. I'm sure you have probably like a million, but give me like a top 3.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm always, and I'm not saying this ego-wise, I'm always engulfed in what I'm doing, and I love to create and be original, so I'm always working on my stuff. But if I had to listen to somebody's show, I would probably say, I'd probably listen to Kevin Hart. I would probably listen to Dave Chappelle, and then outside of that, I might want to sit back and hear from probably like Bob Costas when it comes to sports. And I got to meet him and talk with him, so I'd probably say that. My question back to you, Coach: if you took over my show for the day and it was Wake Up Call with Allie Yaeger, who are the 3 guests you would have and why?
Oh my God,
that's a good question.
Like I could have like any guest.
Anybody.
Anybody. Oh my God.
That's a really good question.
That is a really good question. Holy cow, that is such a good question. Okay. All right. Oh my God. Okay. I would say I am like in love with Zach Bryan right now. The country star. And I just like am obsessed with his music, and I just have so many questions as to his lyrics and like why he writes what he writes, and I just like it's crazy. So I would probably interview him. I would interview I Gotta Go Sports in some direction. I mean, I'm a huge Packers fan. I'm from Wisconsin originally, so a Jordan Love maybe. Hopefully he's not injured right now, but yeah, maybe probably that when it comes to a sport. And then based off of the two I just said, probably my 16-year-old son, because he loves both of them, and we both have the same sense of humor, and we just are the same person, and I know he would love being a part of something like that.
And what's his first name?
Max Yaeger.
Max. So shout out to Max. And I have family that calls Wisconsin home as well. And I actually have a good friend, Tim Lester, who was on the Packers staff last year, talking to me about Jordan Love and a lot of things about him that, gave some positivity before we saw the positivity of him. So with that,
what part of Wisconsin do you have people in?
So it's my Aunt Mary. Her like entire family's up there. I don't know where they are I think it's like Milwaukee area that they are. But I also know like Ashwaubenon and Waukesha and all those areas.
Yeah,
so.
my mom lives in Waukesha. Yeah.
Okay, so
yeah, that's where I went to high school, Waukesha Catholic Memorial.
Okay, yeah, I know someone from Waukesha West. So
yeah, that's right by me. Yeah.
With that being said, head coach Allie Yaeger, as well as student athlete Tsvet Ilieva here from Sofia, Bulgaria, and Binghamton Volleyball right here with the spotlight. I don't know how to say goodbye to either one of you because this has been one of my most favorite, not Binghamton, but overall, we've had over 5,000 people on the show, and I can honestly tell you, this is one of my favorite conversations that I've ever had.
Oh my God!
So I'm going to have you both back. And if you'll
we
have
would love
me,
to be back. Yep.
I would love to come to a match this season. So.
I would have better questions prepared.
No, you had good ones.
I had no idea.
No, I thought those were good. I thought
you were good.
I thought those were good questions.
Yeah, you did a great job.
Because I always ask good questions.
So from the Binghamton Bearcats volleyball team to all of you around the country and the world, thank you so much for tuning into this edition of the Bearcat Breakroom. And to you both, I can't thank you enough. I appreciate it. And go Bearcats.
Thank you. Go Bearcats.
Avicolli's, located on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, has been your trusted neighbor for decades. Located just steps from Liverpool High School, we're happy to have the Liverpool Warriors on-site, on-location broadcast at Avicolli's through Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora every single month, featuring student athletes, coaches, and administration throughout the year from Liverpool High School. Head out to Avicolli's today on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, open Tuesday through Sunday for lunch, dinner, and drinks. We'd love to see you out there. And of course, you can call them at 315-622-5100 for takeout, delivery, and catering. That's 315-622-5100. And also find them on myavicollis.com. That's myavicollis.com. Having peace of mind when you're out of town that your furry-loving friend is safe and sound means taking them to Canine Campground, because we all know that when it comes to the love of our pets, it goes well beyond the call of duty to make sure they're safe and sound. Right, Lily? So take a ride to 242 Johnson Street in East Syracuse, New York, and see Canine Campground and where your dog will be staying in the classic cabin, the executive cabin, the grand cabin, or of course the luxury cabin, because if you know Lily, you know she loves luxury. Now you don't have to wait to the last minute to find a family member or a friend that'll take your dog for a few days. Call Canine Campground at 315-299-4013. That's 315-299-4013. Their drop-off and pickup times are Monday through Sunday. Check K9campground.com for more information. That's the letter K, the number 9, and campground spelled with a K.com. K9campground.com.
When you're going out of town, bring your dog to Canine Campground.
Carvel DeWitt, it's what happy tastes like. Do you know why? Because we make ice cream. Creamy, rich, flavorful ice cream. Not yogurt or iced milk like some of our competitors. Ice cream. Fresh, by hand, daily. For the calorie conscious, we have something new for you. Our new Carvelite. Same great flavor, creaminess, and texture of our regular ice cream with only 35 calories an ounce. So whether you want an ice cream cake, flying saucer, dasher, carvalanche, hard or soft ice cream, we will satisfy your craving with our fresh, handmade regular or new Carvelite ice cream. Carvel DeWitt. It's what happy tastes like.
The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is located on 3680 Milton Avenue in the Home Depot Plaza. It is your family-friendly sports bar and restaurant. Folks, some sports bars aren't family-friendly. Some family-friendly restaurants are not sports bars. The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is proud to be both. It is that marriage that you've been looking for years. The Wildcat Sports Pub is your home base for your sports bar and restaurant needs, games for the kids, indoor and outdoor activities, and enough things on the menu to come back every single week and get to try something new. They're open Sundays from noon to 8 p.m., Monday through Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Thursday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to midnight. For reservations and party information, call 315-487-2222 for the Wildcat family-friendly sports pub and restaurant.
GG Cards and Breaks. Like, comment, subscribe.
GG Cards and Breaks, coming to you on 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York, is your one-stop sports card and trading card shop. They got a little bit of everything from singles to packs, graded cards and boxes. They have your Yu-Gi-Oh!, your Disney Lorcana, as well as Pokemon and Magic the Gathering, on top of having basketball, football, baseball, hockey, soccer, AEW, all sport, UFC, while supplies last. Because you never know what they're going to have today. That'll be gone in an hour, in a couple hours, be gone by tomorrow. So you got to make your way out to GG Cards and Breaks. I love being out there. Number one, above everything, it comes down to the people. And they're led by Josh and Anthony, who are tremendous human beings. I appreciate and respect them so very much. Alex, Joel, Kevin, the entire team at GG Cards and Breaks just goes the extra mile. They care, and you can tell. They listen, they pay attention, and they love collecting themselves. They're collecting all the time. That's the thing. It's a bunch of big kids. It's like going to the Sandlot. It's like going to the Sandlot and just sitting around and being a part of that together, you know, being a part of that passion and that love for the world of sports. So no matter how old you get, you'll always be a part of the Sandlot. That's how I look at it. 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York. Open Tuesday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. and on Sundays from 10 to 5. I implore you to get over to GG Cards and Breaks. There's nothing like it. 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York. With that being said, here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, the final part of every single Tuesday show are the ingredients to success. And the ingredients to success are proudly presented by the wonderful, wonderful team at Avicolli's. And I appreciate them so very much. Avicolli's has one of the greatest connections to our community. And I say one of because I'm blessed to work with a lot of wonderful, wonderful businesses that were made here and have grown here and expanded here and done great things in our community. Avicolli's is second to none when it comes to their grandma's pie. I'll fight anybody on that. They're truly special. Wonderful place. Great people. John Fratto does a tremendous job, and it's the exclusive home of our sit-down broadcast with the Liverpool Warriors every single month. And we just had last week our Liverpool football broadcast with the Warriors. And I can't thank them enough for being just really nice kids, working hard, being respectful, and being kind to each other, being kind to their coach. That was something I paid attention to. I told the kids, I said, you know what I saw? And I was talking to them about it. You go back and watch it on the videos on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt and on facebook.com/wakeupcalldt. If you look up our Liverpool football videos at Avicolli's that happened last week, I told the kids, I said, you may not think I was paying attention, but I was listening. And I said, I heard you when head coach Joe Sindoni ordered them pizza and wings and whatnot. I heard them say, thank you, coach. Thank you, coach. Hey, appreciate it, coach. Hey, thank you so much, coach. Hey, thanks, coach. Hey, coach, I appreciate that. Thank you, coach. And I said, those stuck with me. The fact that these kids appreciated what they were getting from their coach. The fact that it meant something to them and that they had the manners and the respect to say thank you, which means they were raised right. And I love that. So I want to shout out the kids of Liverpool, including the football team, but not just the football team, for being the awesome people that you are. And to know that I appreciate you and that I am listening and I am watching. You know, they say you never know who's watching, you never know who's paying attention. So, you know, you can't afford to have an off day and treating people well and giving your best and doing the best you can and being kind and courteous and all that. And it's true. You really can't, because you never know who's watching. And in those cases, I was. The ingredients to success here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, celebrating every single week ingredients to help you on your way, talking about different topics and trying to find a way to help you move forward, to help you find peace, to help you get to where you need to go. I don't have all the answers, and it's not an exact science, and I'm absolutely not perfect in my life with every decision I make and everything I do. None of us are perfect, but it's the effort. It's the effort and it's the why. Why do you care? Why do you work hard? Why do you give? Why do you go the extra mile? What is in you to be the way that you are? Why do you help people? Do you help people? Do you think of people other than yourself? All of this is important in the grand scheme of life because your currency is your soul. At the end of your life, you hand God your soul. You don't hand God money. Say, can I get into heaven? I got enough cash. Right? You can't get in on money. You can't get in on notoriety. You can't get in on power and prestige and how many things you had, how many houses you had, how big your house was, how many cars you had, how many Twitter followers and TikTok likes you had. You get in by the currency, which is your soul. How you treat people and how you treated yourself. And I got to give it up to these kids because, you know, people talk about the future of this world. And yeah, social media has made some people numb to things of all different ages. And yeah, it's in that desensitizing of people. And yes, it doesn't always look good. And there's bullying that can follow you home now. But see, I spend so much time all year round with the youth of tomorrow. And I get to sit with these kids, including Liverpool High School. And I've met a lot of really good young men and women that make me believe that this world's going to be in good hands. That they keep God first and, you know, they remember those lessons they were taught, morals and values by their family, and they carry them forward. But like I said, you know, to be around these kids has really shown me a lot of positive about today and tomorrow and the next day. And one of those things was something very simple that, like I told the kids when we were there last week at Avicolli's, you may not think that I was listening. You may not think anybody was listening, but I most surely was. And, you know, when I was talking to Joe Sindoni, the head coach of the Liverpool Warriors football program, one kid was like, "Hey, coach, thanks for the food." "Yeah, coach, thanks." "Hey, coach, thanks." "Yeah, coach, thank you. Thank you so much, coach. Thanks for doing this, coach." "Hey, thank you, coach." And I had made mention of it during the show. And I said, you know, if you guys didn't think that I heard it, I heard it. And it really speaks volumes to how, you know, who you are as kids and how they were raised and the manners that they have and the respect and appreciation they have. And it really meant a lot to me to see it. And then after I said that, a kid came up at the end of all of the broadcasts, because we did 3 sets. At the end of everything, one of the kids from the team came up and he's right in front of me. He looked at Coach Joe Sindoni and he said, "Hey, coach, I didn't say thank you before, and I wanted to make sure I came up and told you thank you for the food." And it means a lot. So shout out to the kids at Liverpool and shout out to the kids here in Central and Upstate New York and all over the world that are doing good things, caring about other people, respecting other people, appreciating, not thinking that anything's owed to them, but being grateful and thankful and kind and hospitable and have morals and values and faith and belief in God. Thank you to all those kids. And thank you to all those big kids, because we make this world a better place by loving and being good and taking all those ingredients to success I just mentioned. So let's talk about the topic inside of the ingredients to success for this week. When you believe. Well, what the heck do I mean? What are you talking about? So shout out to Binghamton. We just had the set with them, the Binghamton Breakroom, and Binghamton getting more love here on the show today. So, but yeah, when you believe. And what that means, right? What it means when you believe. Believe in what? Believe in yourself. When you believe in yourself, you have the opportunity to change your life. When you believe in yourself, you have the opportunity to change somebody else's life. Believing in yourself is something that cannot go unnoticed, underappreciated, or something that you just don't do. Because believing in yourself, when you believe in yourself, you create an opportunity to do something unimaginable, unthinkable, impossible. How do I know that? Because when I started this company, I believed in myself. And I continue to believe in myself. People ask me how this company started. There's one answer I give every single time. Whether or not they believe in God is inconsequential to my answer. I started this company with God. I started this company in the trenches with God. It was me and God sitting in the trenches, taking the air in front of us that you couldn't see and molding it into something tangible, something you can hold, and making it a real thing. God and I sat in the trenches and we molded thin air into reality. And I can never thank God enough for that. I can never thank God enough for that. God believed in me. And I believed in myself. So what does it look like when you believe in yourself? It looks like this. This is my studio, connected to my office, with my company, with my name on the door. This is 12 years of owning my own business, Dan Tortora Broadcast Media. This is working with great partners like Avicolli in a community that I grew up in and I love dearly. This is 21 years almost now of broadcasting. My life is a beautiful thing, and I appreciate my life. I thank God every single day for the life that I have. My life has been so rewarding. And it starts with my faith in God, and it continues with my belief in God. Without God, there's nothing that I could do. Without God, there is absolutely nowhere I could have gone and truly been successful. I don't believe in a world without God, And when I look at this world that tries to push God away, I see how bad it's gotten. There is a direct correlation with an absence of God and a society that has fallen into chaos, a society that has lost control. Without God as your center, you can't truly ever succeed. You might make money, you might have prowess, you might have power, and you might have prestige, but you will never truly fill the void. There is a void that every person has, and it's funny, the people that don't believe in God look for something to worship, which in its own kind of backward way is proving that God exists, because you don't believe in God, but you're trying to find something to look up to, something to believe in, something to guide you, something to help you, something to worship. People that don't believe in God, sometimes they worship other people. They worship material things. They worship ideologies. They worship what they imagine made them, right? Sometimes they worship nature. They worship objects. They worship ideals. They worship just certain desires that they have. People that don't believe in God try to worship something, which shows that there is a void. So when you believe in God, when you believe in yourself, you have the capacity to do anything. How do I know that? Because I've lived my whole life believing in God. I've lived my whole life on my choice, choosing to pray to God, choosing to talk to God, choosing to live with God. I chose to leave traditional radio. I chose to leave a company that was already created and already sustaining, to create one that didn't exist. I chose the tough road because I believe in myself. And the people that believe in themselves, they're so just electrifying. People that believe in themselves, when you put yourself around people that believe in themselves and have faith in themselves and believe in God, and they're contagious. We talk about COVID-19 and how being around people that believe in God and their faith in God is so strong that it compels you to open yourself to having a relationship with God. What about the people that are so believing in every dream that they have that you really sit there and say to yourself, man, if anybody can do it, they can. And it lights a fire inside of you. They say the people that, to truly succeed in life is to not just have a fire inside of you, but to have a fire inside of you so strong that it lights a fire in someone else. That the fire that you have inside of you, that you take a stick and you put it into that fire that's inside of you, and you take that stick and you hand it to someone else so they can light their own fire. To surround yourself with people that have this strong belief, this hope, this faith, this love. Think about it. When people are turned off by people that believe in God, people don't like people that believe in God, people shut off my show because I talk about God. Think about what they're shutting off. Positivity. My belief in God has to do with every single positive thing that I do. No negative things that I do. My belief in God does not equal any sin. It does not equal any negativity. It does not equal an eye for an eye. It does not equal any mistake or trip or fall or blunder that I've had. My belief in God is only connected to goodness. So for somebody to be turned off by God and a belief in God is to be turned off by positivity, goodness, morals, values, and actually trying to do good by other people. See, people that are turned off by God, that makes me question who those people are. Why would God and goodness make you feel offended? You can't spell good without God. You can't spell good without God. And at the end of your life, when you don't believe in God, that other O is going to come to pass. Because that God that is inside of the word good, that extra O, that could be the moment where at the end of your life where you didn't believe and you thought everybody was crazy, and then you're looking at God and you go, oh, that's the second O. Could be an uh-oh. Don't want that to be that. Want it to be a, Oh, there you are. See, God is such a positive role model. See, when you have role models, and we can and we do, but when we have role models that are human beings, they're fallible. Somebody tells me, hey, Dan, I look up to you. The first thing I think is I'm a sinner. I've made mistakes. That's the first thing I think of. I don't think, oh, thank you. I'm so great. Thank you so much. I have such a big ego. This is wonderful for me. No, I think, wow, this person looks up to me. If they only knew that I committed, this sin when I swore about this and I did this and I could have been nicer to this person and I was late to this meeting. When you worship God and not people and things, you are worshiping something that is consistent. You're worshiping something that's not going to let you down. Oh, Dan, God lets me down all the time when I don't get what I want. That's not God. Life is not fair. If you believe that Jesus Christ is God's child, which I do believe that with everything that I have, if you believe that that is true, Jesus died in the most horrific way ever, that no human being would ever die exactly that way, I would imagine. And I hope not. So you say, well, if God loved me, why would he let me go through all this stuff? Well, God loves his son. Why did he let Jesus go through all that? For you. So maybe when you're suffering, it's going to be for someone else. Maybe your suffering, just like Jesus is suffering, is meant to help somebody else. Maybe you going through what you're going through right now is so that you will have a testimony from the test you had, so that you can help someone when they face something difficult. We will all go through tough times. And if I've learned anything in 38 years of being on this earth, the things that I have been through can and should be used to help other people. Whether it's telling a joke, whether it's creating some insight and wisdom, knowledge from a deep conversation or a joking conversation. I talk about my pain through comedy. I feel like it helps people. I think laughter really is the best medicine. I've never seen it to be a bad thing when we can laugh in a means of moving forward. I'm not talking about laughing at people. I'm talking about laughing through your pain, through your tough times, and finding life on the other side. I'm never going to sit here and tell you that life is easy, because I asked God to make my life easier, and not even to make my life easier. I just said, God, why can't I have this? Why can't I have that? And why didn't you give me this? And why'd you do this way? If I've learned anything about my life, you have to trust. You have to trust that God will always have your best in mind, that he knows better than you. I go back to high school. God, why didn't you give me the crush that I wanted? And God would say to me, why in 8th grade did you not ask her to dance when she was standing there? Could she have been my wife right now? I don't know. What's meant to be will always be, so I guess not. But see, I could say to God, why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? And if I've learned anything from God, as life goes by, you turn around and you asked him for something that you think he didn't give you. And then all of a sudden you get something. And then one day you look back and you go, oh, the other O in good. Oh, that's why. Because if you gave me her, I couldn't have her. Because if you gave me him, I couldn't have him. Because if you kept me in this job, I wouldn't be doing this. Because if you kept me in this place, I would never live here. Because if you didn't challenge me to do this that I didn't even know I had in me, I wouldn't have become that. See, adversity is the only way that we grow. Adversity is the only way that we evolve. Adversity is the only way that we really understand the grit of who we are. I've had tough conversations in my life, but I was terrified to have conversations that I had yesterday. I wasn't afraid to have them yesterday, but a year ago, I was afraid to have them. 5 months ago, I was afraid to have them. I saw in myself yesterday my ability to handle really tough situations that I never thought I could in the past. Yesterday was a leveling up moment for me, and I'm not saying that as an ego. I'm saying that as folks. Sometimes it may take a very long time. For me, it took my whole life to get to a point where I was unafraid to have conversations about things that are important to me, not knowing how the person was going to react, but only saying to myself, hey, no matter what they do, that's them. Their reaction is their reaction. Their words and their actions are their choice. But I have to stand up for this. I have to do this the right way. This will eat me alive. Nobody else is going to answer the question. Nobody else is going to tell me what this person's thinking. Nobody else is going to make this situation right. The only way for me to have a chance of making this right is addressing it to the only person that is in this situation with me, seeing what they say and do, and then responding to it accordingly. One of them responded well. The other one has continued to disappoint me. But the fear of having the conversation is gone. So when you believe in yourself, you can accomplish anything. And I promise you that. Everyone who's ever done anything, and I'm not talking about just the people that make the movies and I'm not talking about Michael Jordans and the LeBron Jameses only. I'm not talking about the Breanna Stewarts and the Caitlin Clarks and the Angel Reeses only. I'm not talking about the Mia Hamms only, or the Scarlett Johanssons, or the Robert Downey Jr.'s, or the Danny DeVitos, Joe Pesci, Denzel Washingtons. I'm not just talking about them. I'm not just talking about the people that have risen to become the president of the United States, just them. I'm talking about everyone. I'm talking about when you decided that you wanted to plant a garden and you planted your first flower. I'm talking about those of you that embarked on a journey to fight cancer and are almost done with the fight, or have gotten to the middle of the fight. You didn't think you could do day 1. Now you're on day 372. I'm talking about the people that maybe were afraid to walk up and down the halls of their school, me included. But you're doing it today. When you believe in yourself, when you believe in God, I can personally tell you there is absolutely nothing that stands in your way except for the fake non-promise that comes from the devil. Fear. Fear is the only thing that will stop you, and fear is not real. It is not existing in society. It is something that we bring into existence. It is not there. You go outside, you see trees. Trees exist. Fear does not exist. You don't walk outside and see fear. You walk outside and create it, or you create it inside. You have to create fear. The devil's lie is to put these thoughts inside of your brain and to have you say, yes, those are good thoughts. Those are real thoughts. I'm going to believe in those thoughts. And then that thought becomes fear. And that fear prevents you from doing things. Fear has never won a battle. Fear has never successfully held up an award. Fear has never signed for a house. Fear has never gotten married. Fear is what prevents us from things. Fear is what backs us into things. I can say people married out of fear. I'm sure I thought of that when somebody said that. You know, Dan, what about arranged marriage? What about this and that? Hear me. Fear does not move you forward. Fear only has 2 directions. Still, the direction of nowhere, dead end. Fear has 2 directions, dead end or backward. Those are the only 2 directions of fear, dead end or backward. Fear never moves forward. fear is afraid to. The devil preaches fear and chaos. God preaches peace and love. Which voice will you choose to listen to? That being said, these are the ingredients to success, proudly presented by the wonderful team at Avicolli's. I cannot thank them enough for all that they do on 7839 Oswego Road in Liverpool, New York. They are open now 7 days a week, as they have been open for the last few weeks on Mondays, which I love. So you can now enjoy their lunch, dinner, and drinks, and of course drink responsibly, and only drink if you're of age, 21 and over. Lunch, dinner, and drinks at Avicolli's now 7 days a week. You can go there at 7839 Oswego Road in Liverpool, New York. You can call them for takeout, delivery, and catering at 315-622-5100. Tell them DT sent me or Wake Up Call sent me. Hey, just want to let you know DT sent me over. Talks about your stuff all the time on his show. I wanted to try it out. Takeout, delivery, and catering. 315-622-5100. You can order online at myavicollis.com, where you could see the entire menu. That's myavicollis.com. You can go to wakeupcalldt.com's homepage and go to the Partners tab, click on Avicolli's, and you can order from there as well. A big time thanks to them for the ingredients to success. John Frotto and the gang, can't thank you enough to everybody over at Avicolli's. Thank you, John, and thank you to everyone who is a member of the team, including the Avicolli family, of course, for all you've done for decades in our community. I want to thank you for tuning in. I can't believe this show's already over. It felt like it was 10 seconds long. YouTube.com and Facebook.com, both /WakeUpCallDT, and on wakeupcalldt.podbean.com. That's how you check in with us around the country and the world live Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. And once the shows go live, they hop into the archive. You don't want to miss the college football conversation that is there now, as well as the NFL conversation. Both of those coming from yesterday's show. I broke them into 2 episodes that you can go and watch, go and listen to right now. You can watch it on YouTube. But if you go to Amazon Music, Audible, iHeartRadio, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts, Player FM, Podbean, Podchaser.com. My mouth is fighting my mind right now. Podchaser.com, Podvine, Spotify, TuneIn, and YouTube. All you have to do is search Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, or one word, Wake Up Call DT. And like I said, we have our college football rankings conversation. Is it fair or is it unfair in the current state of things in college football? You do not want to miss that conversation between Brendan Murphy and myself, as well as our NFL conversation, where we speak on Aaron Rodgers, Tyreek Hill, Lamar Jackson, and how Jaden Daniels of the Washington Commanders single-handedly, just in passing yards alone in his NFL debut, outperformed the entire offense of the Chicago Bears and number 1 overall pick, Caleb Williams, who was chosen 1 pick above Jaden Daniels. A big time thanks to our incredible partners, and no offense to Caleb Williams and the crew. I just think it's amazing, that statistic of what Jaden Daniels did, as opposed to an entire offense with another new quarterback in their debut. Visit our incredible partners in Central and Upstate New York: Carvel DeWitt, the Wildcat Sports Pub, Canine Camp Dog Daycare, Avicolli's, Canine Campground Dog Boarding, Chick-fil-A Cicero, Ma and Pa's, the snack capital of the world, on 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York, Brian's Landing, GG Cards and Breaks, Pizza Man, Great Lakes Honda City, Mother's Cupboard, where I have my own breakfast sandwich exclusively at Mother's Cupboard, 3709 James Street in Syracuse, New York. 7 days a week from 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. You can get what I call the Cuse McMother. The Cuse McMother, bacon, egg, and cheese inside of 2 pieces of French toast. Pick it up and eat it like a sandwich. Cut it up and have it with some syrup at Mother's Cupboard today. And you know I got my own sundae down the road from Lemoyne College, which is in connection with the Dolphins. What better way? And all the head coaches that I know I know every single head coach over there at Lemoyne College in our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership. When they have recruiting visits, they absolutely should be going to Carvel DeWitt, because what a good selling point to say, hey, if you come here, we have our own sundae in the community. Right down the road on 4322 East Genesee Street in DeWitt, New York, you can get the DT Dolphin, mint chocolate chip green for the Dolphins, topped off with hot fudge whipped cream and a cherry, green and gold sprinkles, and a chocolate dolphin jumping out of your whipped cream. How incredible does that sound? Very incredible. How good is it? Better than it sounds. How do I know? Well, that's what people tell me, and I like it myself. So make sure you go out there and get the DT Dolphin today. And big time thanks to servomation.com that is reimagining and reinvigorating the world of vending. You do not know, like vending machines that I grew up with, night and day from what Servomation is doing with technology, quality of product, what they're making, the variety that they have, the kitchen that they have. Servomation.com. Go there today and see what they're doing. It's really awesome. And I love the fact that Brian Bruno had me tour the facility in upstate New York. It was a lot of fun. Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora is exclusive multimedia marketing partner with your Lemoyne College Dolphins. Find your Dolphins every single month during Dolphin Time, Wednesdays at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, and that has the student athletes, coaches, administration, future Dolphins, and alumni over 3+ years. You could find all of our content with Lemoyne College by going to youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. Click subscribe and hit the notification bell. And of course, you'll find the Lemoyne playlist. You can go to wakeupcalldt.com as well and find the Dolphins on the homepage and underneath the exclusive partners tab. For more information, go to LemoyneDolphins.com. And as always, fins up. The Bryan and Stratton College Bobcats of Syracuse are exclusive multimedia marketing partners with Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. You will find the Bobcats every single month where sports meets life here on Wake Up Call. You could find all of our content of 3+ years with the Bobcats by going to youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell, and find the BSC Syracuse playlist. You'll also find the Bobcats on Wake Up Call DT.com's homepage and underneath the exclusive partners tab. For more information, go to syracuse.bscbobcats.com and go Bobcats. The Binghamton University Bearcats are exclusive multimedia marketing partners with Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. You will find your Bobcats every single Tuesday in what we call Bearcat Time, and that Bearcat Time is coming to you Tuesdays at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, like today. Binghamton University Bearcats with specials entitled Moments with Marshall, featuring Gene Marshall, the athletics director of Binghamton University, as well as the Bearcat Breakroom with student athletes, coaches, and administration telling their stories, like we heard today for Binghamton University Volleyball, following the Fairfield Invitation, where they won all 3 of their matches, including the final match against Boston College, which put them on the ESPN ticker, which was really, really cool to see. Big time shout out to the Bearcats and, of course, the head coach of their volleyball team who was on the broadcast today, Allie Yaeger, as well as an incredible student athlete from Sofia, Bulgaria, that being Tsvet Ilieva. So many thanks to Allie and Tsvet for being a part of the show, and a shout out to Binghamton University Volleyball, as well as all of their sports now and always. You can find the Bearcats by going to youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell, and find the Binghamton playlist. You can also find the Bearcats on wakeupcalldt.com's homepage and underneath the exclusive partners tab. For more information, go to bubearcats.com and go Bearcats. With that being said, here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, I appreciate y'all. Thanks to Jakai Gresham. Thanks to, once again, Allie Yaeger and Tsvet Ilieva. And thanks to Avicolli for the ingredients to success inside of their food and inside of our Tuesday segment. And speaking about when you believe. Never stop believing in God. Never stop believing in yourself. You may think in this world that it's not doing anything, it's not going anywhere, you're never going to succeed. I promise you that God has your back. I promise you, if you focus and you pay really close attention, He will show Himself to you every day. And I promise you that you can accomplish the great dreams you have inside of you. Because if you have them, you can do them. Believe in yourself and go out there and do it. Please, please don't give up on your dreams. Facebook at Wake Up Call DT, X at Call DT, Instagram at Wake Up Call _DT. For now, from Wake Up Call, I love you all. Have a great day.